Hello, this is the Chop Sake Otaku, and this is a review of Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple. First, let's get some things out of the way. First, this is the only good martial arts anime. All the others suck and are horrible. Now, for the most part, this will be a positive review. There's a few negative things I gotta say, but overall I'll say that this is the best martial arts anime. So, congrats. But believe me, if this is the best, you do not want to see the worst Naruto. You're wasting your time. But anyway, let me get to my review of Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple. First off, this is okay. This is the best martial arts anime. It's not my favorite anime. My favorite anime is Dual Parallel Trouble Adventures, but I would at least say that Kenichi is the best martial arts anime that's ever been created so far. But it's like not really hard to do because all the martial arts animes suck. If there is something negative, I guess, because there really isn't much that's negative. It's mostly okay. I wouldn't say for anime fans rush out and buy it, but I would definitely say like if you can buy it, yeah, but if there's something else that looks better or whatever, or I don't know, or somebody that's your favorite anime creator has it, or I don't know. I'm not really big on anime myself. I'm only a casual fan. But anyway, to make a long story short, the only real negative thing to say about this martial arts anime is mostly it's on the bad guys' side. I'd have to say that none of the bad guys stop and ask him, "Hey Kenichi, how did you get to be so strong from being a whip to somebody who can kick these bullies' asses? To kick an ass." Nobody really stops to really think about that or even bother to ask him where he's taking his training. None of the bad guys stop to ask him and say, where did you learn to train? But that's about it. But that's like a really minor complaint. But overall, in terms of anime, I would say that Kenichi, like in the broad spectrum of anime, I felt that it's only so, just an average anime. In terms of martial arts quality, I will say that it's the best one. If you like watching martial arts anime, then I would highly recommend this. I think it's definitely better than Naruto or any others. Like if you're ever curious about that, there really isn't much bad to say. There's good action scenes, but the only really problem I have is that none of the bad guys really ask them. Although it's a minor complaint, and it isn't really a big deal. I'll still say, if you have the money, yes, you should try to buy it. But I wouldn't say to rush out right away. Like the first thing, I definitely say like go with like Dual Parallel Trouble Adventures, or again something else that you like or whatever. Or if you have to buy, I don't know, Neon Genesis Evangelion or Cowboy Bebop on Blu-ray, then yes, by all means you should buy those first before you get Kenichi, the Mightiest Disciple. By all means, if there's something else you want or something you think, oh, I know I'm gonna like this by somebody or whatever, then yes, by all means, but I can only say that, I know Naruto is a really bad anime. That was a really horrible martial arts anime, and if you think, well, since there's a lot of bad martial arts anime like Naruto and stuff, or you know, and like, well, I don't really want to try a martial arts movie, I can understand that. Like I said, this isn't something like to rush out. You know, if there's other stuff you'd rather buy, that's fine. But you know, I'm just saying, you know, if you can, try to support a good martial arts anime. I think that's great that Japan does that sometimes, have a martial arts anime. It's just that the majority of them are really bad. But I will say that at least Kenichi is so-so. I haven't seen a great anime that's a martial arts anime yet. But Japan, if you do that, if you make a great anime that's a martial arts anime, you will be the #1 country making the best martial arts genre. You'll be #1 finally. And so Japan, you know, get on that. Start making a good martial arts anime, like I don't know, maybe a cop that knows like kung fu or something and fights yakuza. That would be pretty cool. That could make it to #1, I would say. Yeah, it would be #1. That would be a great martial arts anime. If you do that, you'll be #1. You can beat America, which, wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice, Japan, to be #1 instead of America being #1 in terms of the martial arts genre, Japan? I don't know. I think it would be nice. So yeah, Japan, get on that. Get on that with a cop that does martial arts, so America isn't #1 at the martial arts genre, or at least, I don't know, so that America isn't #1 anymore. I mean, that's really sad. That's how low the genre is, that America is the best country at making martial art movies. And I talk about that in other ones, like do not watch the martial arts, just read Inside Kung Fu by Rick Myers, and America and China Switch Places, which I give in great detail how China started out being great and then went to the worst. But and, you know, well, actually it was Hong Kong that was #1, I should say. So Hong Kong's #1, and then when China absorbed Hong Kong, they kind of, I don't know. I know that the directors don't get a lot of freedom like they used to, but I mean, still, the choreography is that you can't have good choreography in your movies, or people flying 100 feet certified in the air. Is that really something the communist government complains and says you're not allowed to do? I don't know. But what I do know is that you know, if America's #1 and they're only recent, they're kind of like Sony getting into the video game business. They don't have any strong competition. Nintendo and Sega fell down, or in this case, I should say, China and Japan are the Sega and Nintendo of video games, and America just got lucky. Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm saying. America just got lucky. This will be looked back in terms of martial arts as like America just getting lucky. This will be like when Sega got in there. There was no competition for when Sega was coming in. The same thing is going on. There's no competition for America. It's just the best right now. And that isn't good. Monopolies definitely stink. That's not good. That America is the best. That should definitely not happen. So yeah, right now America has no competition on martial arts movies. There's no competition. They're not fighting against real competition in martial arts movies like they were in the past, but mostly America was making really horrible martial arts movies, and they did it on purpose because I don't know, we're stupid over here, and they really didn't really understand that. Yes, there's people fighting, but you really need good choreography and people to actually know some martial arts and to know the whole traditional Chinese dancing, mostly traditional Chinese dancing, to make a good martial arts movie. And so so anyway, I better get to the point because I'm stretching this few out. So anyway, since America's the best and isn't really facing any real competition, Japan, China, Thailand, anybody, come on, anyone out there in Asia that makes martial art movies, make a really good one. I mean, come on, Thailand, that remake of Born to Fight, or I guess Born to Fight 4, I should say, in Thailand, starring the original guy from the 1986 Born to Fight was, well, it wasn't terrible, it was just so-so, but it's like, come on, anybody out there make something great. I mean, Tony Jaa only made 2 great martial art movies, Onbak, the Thai War, and The Protector, and those Onbak sequels, Onbak 2 and 3, were, well, I guess just average. I wasn't really too impressed, mostly because there wasn't really a lot of action scenes in them, and there's very few, and even when there was, they were just in between. But it's like, come on, somebody make some great action scenes, or at least somebody have somebody sword fighting 100 feet in the air or something. Come on, give America some competition. Anything. I mean, this is terrible. This whole thing that America's the best, and the only reason why is because we're the only ones doing like flying. We hired Yin Wuping. Even though I did like The Forbidden Kingdom, I just didn't really. I mean, I loved it. That was a great movie, but it's like, I mean, but here in America, we just have bad martial art movies. None of the good ones succeed, like Forbidden Kingdom. It went bankrupt. And it was a great movie. At least the Chinese loved it. At least when it came over to China, the Chinese said, how did Americans make a martial arts film? I don't know how we did it either, to be honest. I don't know how Americans made a Chinese film, but we did. And I'm glad we did, but it just didn't make any money at the box office. That stupid, horrible Kung Fu Panda piece of shit. Actually, the whole shit. It's bullshit. That Kung Fu Panda bullshit made money. And so, yeah. Somebody, anybody out there, anyone that likes martial arts movies in Asia, get somebody to fly 100 feet in the air. It's so horrible here in America. There's no good martial arts movies. Anybody, make a good one. Somebody, anybody out there. This is an SOS. This is like an emergency. Anybody out there, make something. Anything good. Just to give America some competition. I mean, that is sad. The country that used to be the worst is now like the only one making it. And the sad part is Americans don't really like martial art movies. They don't understand. And I guess Kung Fu Panda worked because it was aimed for kids. Fams like, well, what should we take the kids to? We'll take our kids to see Kung Fu Panda. We're not going to take them to see something good that has Chinese cultural stuff that has the Jade Emperor, like the Forbidden Kingdom. Although it was a PG-13 movie, but I was surprised that no teenagers went to see it or didn't make enough money. But anyway, so anyway, final verdict, buy Kenichi, the Mightist Disciple if you can. If you can't, then don't worry about it. But just try to watch it if you can. That's it. That's the final verdict.